Alright, let's see how that looks. Oh, hey, camera on. Alright. Hide my dirty office. The lighting's a little weird, that's okay. Alright. So, what I was going to do today is basically try to get back in touch with QIT by just kind of working on it. And it's been a while since I have really done anything on it, so I was just going to kind of log in and reclone the repository and see how it goes. So if you're interested in QIT or whatever, then hang around. All right. I'm sure I've already got QIT checked in, but let's see here. Let's go ahead and create a new one. New folder, because there's a couple things I think I got to do. So first let's go over to GitHub. Get that URL. This is all open source. So this is the main repository. There are two repositories in play, which is part of the confusion. It's either like everything should be split or nothing should be split. Instead, we're kind of in a weird middle ground that makes a few things awkward. And I'm going to replace the search indexer for a third time. So I kind of had some big ideals for it, and I just never really got around to going all the way with that. And so now it's just like this weird, awkward mess that is neither here nor there. Is that the expression? QIT. All right. And I'm a fan of Peacock because I can end up with having a lot of these running. So I like to, let's see, what's a good color? We need React Blue. All right. Helps me keep things straight if I end up with multiple. All right, so here's the project, and I can see that the search indexer process, which is that other repo I was talking about, is here because it's set up as a Git submodule. So that's convenient. All right. Oh, the thing about submodules is they don't actually pool by default, so I'm actually gonna have to get into there. But before I do that, I'm gonna pop up in the README because that's something that I know that other people don't necessarily know. Preview. So I want to make sure that this is documented when we talk about cloning. All right, running locally. I'm going to skip the fork. We're going to clone it, and then tell you to run the following commands in the command line of your choice. So before we do this, actually, we also need to tell you to run the following command. That's actually okay. So what we're going to do is tell you to, I guess I should actually figure out what the command is first, right? We're going to cd to the search indexer. And then we're going to say git pool origin master. And now we should see code, but we don't. Okay, so I'm going to have to Google. So I forget how you pull submodules. Let's see. I thought there was like just easy command. Git status. Cloning a project with submodules. That's what I want. So we clone the project. CD. You must run two commands, git submodule init, and then git submodule update. So, all right. This has already been beneficial. but you can see why this stuff is annoying. Oh, and I just realized I didn't actually mention anybody in the QIT channel that I'm doing this. I didn't really plan things out ahead of time, so I don't know that anyone's going to be around or even interested in the first place. But I'll throw it out there. What the heck? Back on QIT. Stuff is annoying. Whoa. Inception. Sorry, I made the window. Whoa, too big, too big. All right, hopefully that looks all right. All right, the message is out there. So where are we at? Things still look good here. All right, cool. All right, so I haven't actually tried these commands yet, so I should probably do that. So at the top level, let me know if you can't read this, by the way. At the top level, I should say get submodule in it. Verified, and then if I tell it to update, then I should see that folder got filled in. So awesome, that's exactly what should happen. Okay, so next, I don't think you actually need to tell it to build explicitly if that stuff doesn't exist already. But let me make sure I've got Docker running. I don't. Let me get that started up. Nope. All right, give that like, I don't know, 14 minutes or so to start up. I'm gonna go check on my island. It's just kidding, it's almost up. It's really not that bad. I'm just spoiled. It's almost there. There we go. All right, let's try that again. Okay, great. And I've got a bunch of stuff already running because I didn't shut down things properly. So it's a Docker stop. I always forget what to type here. Is that it? I'm going to stop everything. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and build. And I should probably do that just in case. I forgot this. I didn't need to do that. That's okay. And I don't need to mention that here. This is the first time run. So I've run QIT, fairly recently. No big changes there. So nothing needs to get re-downloaded by him. Building the images and whatnot for the website. So I think this is going to do it. I don't really have a hard goal yet for the day. I'm basically just trying to get back in touch with things. So probably have to hop off here at some point, and we've got the Coding Blocks happy hour coming up later. So I will be disappearing at some point before that and then reappearing. And then after that, I'm going to be doing some pair programming with the Mad Viking God. So if you're interested in that, we'll have a link somewhere. Probably going to do that over on his Twitch channel. So stick around, stay tuned. Cypress is a tool we use for testing. It's integration testing. It's really cool. I haven't worked with it in a long time. Just remember it being super cool. Gosh, it feels like it's been at least a year since I've actually really looked at it though. So I've been a bad open source maintainer. And it's such a cool project. Oh, and just in case you haven't seen the project, let me go ahead and get up the production version. So here it is. If I search for a technology or a tool or something, the more specific the name, the better. But the idea is that I can, go out and find information about Jaeger. And I don't think I've listened to this episode, but yeah. So go ahead and play it.
Recording?
And there we go. Of course, this works mobile, so that's all fine. You can actually queue things up, keep a little list going, so that's really cool. And another thing I really want to do, I don't know if it's going to be today, though, is just make it easier to add other podcasts. So, hey. So that would be awesome to make it easier to add other shows. 'Cause I've definitely been slacking on that because it's just kind of a pain and it's kind of hard to verify. So I want to make that better too. But really, number one is making local development easier. And then number two is fixing up the DevOps pipeline. DevOps is definitely something I've kind of grown to appreciate more and more. And I think if I was kind of starting over with this, I would probably start with DevOps day one, deploying as soon as possible. And just treating that pipeline like a shrine, like a temple. And keeping it really nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to be the Ruby stuff. This is the QIT backend. We really need to get some diagrams in here because it's actually a pretty complicated setup. We got .NET, Ruby, React, anything else? Postgres, Elasticsearch, and of course some CSS and some various libraries and stuff. But those are kind of the big players. I'd love to get GraphQL in there at some point. Yeah, lots of stuff. We don't even want to look at the node modules. Or do we? I don't know. Might be fun. I don't see him. Have we not done the front end build yet? Oh boy. Here, I was picking on Docker for being slow. All right, hey, there we go. So now we should be able to start this up. And what else does it say? Set up the pre-commit hooks. That keeps us honest. Right, Vlados? All right, man, I miss you guys. The best thing about working on this project was just like hanging out. All right. So now if we do a Docker PS, I guess I could have used the plugin. It's just not very easy to read, but we've got a plugin. Don't care about any of this stuff. So, oh my gosh. I think I'm going to go ahead and start removing some stuff that, just remove these things. They're just getting in the way. I'm not doing anything with them right now. All right, so what we got running is the website. It's going to be the React website for now. We've got the API, which is Ruby. We've got Kibana, which is a front end for finally Elasticsearch. Now, I don't see Postgres running, so maybe it crashed. I'm going to go check on that right now. So the back end has a dependency on that. And the front end will actually work fine without it, but you can't log in, you can't save playlists, stuff like that. I think that's going to be a really important piece going forward. So let's check this Docker file. Okay. Oh, I don't need that anymore, I suppose. So I should see website API DB, but I don't have a DB running. And it did start it up. Let me make sure. Compose PS. Yeah, no Postgres. So I don't know what happened there. Let's try it again. Okay, it fired it up now. It's too hard to read. Geez. Database. I've never. Oh, look, it did it again. Why on earth would Postgres crash? Makes me think volumes. So I am mapping out a volume called DB. which is going to be a local volume, and it's a logical volume. So I'm not sure. I don't think we have an explicit network or anything, so the only thing I can kind of guess at is maybe that it's trying to pick up like on an older volume data, maybe that isn't there, or it's corrupted or something. So I'm gonna try doing a docker compose up -v d, which will clear those logical volumes. Keep doing that, and then if we do that again, hopefully it's going to stay up this time. If not, that's going to be curious because it's pretty vanilla. You know, nothing crazy going on. We don't have a tag on here, so maybe the latest version of Postgres has some environment settings or something that we need. I don't know. If this doesn't work, we'll check the logs and see if there's something we could figure out. Let's see here. Exit 1. That's just crazy to me. I'm sorry. It's logs db. Database files are incompatible with the server. The data directory was initialized by Postgres 11, which is not compatible with 12. So it's both things then. So it's trying to use an older version of the data, and part of the problem is because Postgres has kind of marched on in the time, and the data I have is from 11, which is interesting. So I think that I'm going to, number one, fix that. So I'm going to look for whatever the latest stable version of Postgres is and just kind of lock that in place for now. So we don't want to just automatically upgrade all the time. That's crazy. All right. Check out these tags. What am I doing wrong? Looking for like 12. All right, yeah, so image 12 is what I want. And I'm fine with sticking with whatever point release, whatever. Postgres 12. Okay. That's not going to fix this problem, but it will prevent it in the future. So the question is, when I did my Docker compose up -v, why it didn't work. So there's also Docker compose down -v, which actually removes the volumes. I am surprised I had to do that. I can't explain what happened. So if you have a theory on why that was a problem, I would love to hear it, because I just don't know. Oh, snap. Is that Vlad? Is that Vlados? VladOS? I hope so. I was just talking about you. Not sure if you were here. Just talking about the wolf. The wolf that bites me when I check in bad code. Okay, solve later. Yep. So we started it. So we've got, hey, how's it going? Man, I hope you guys are doing all right out there. Hear crazy things from all over the world, and I don't want to drag it down. Awesome. All right, glad to see you. Today I'm going to try to figure out how to pair program and stream at the same time. And if we figure that out, we got to do some coding here. All right. PS. Thank you, because this is stuff you know much better than I do. We got the DB. Hey, we're running. Looks like it cleared that logical volume. Good. I know my buddy, the backend bear, has got family over that way, and forget where exactly it is. I think it's Bosnia, but it's a long way from him living near here, and so he's not able to go check on his family. So I hate that. But I don't want to get dark here. So I'm gonna try and be a shining light of hope or something. All right. Hey, Vlad, are you coming to what you call it? Awesome. Coming to virtual happy hour. Gonna have some drinks later. In like an hour and a half. Okay. That's next door, right? I haven't talked to him in a while. Hope he's doing all right. Yeah, he lives really close to me, but we've never hung out. We need to fix that. All right, so at this point, let me close some stuff here. In 1.5 hours, so whatever time that is for you, it's probably pretty late. Awesome. I hope it's going to be fun. Check it out. Running locally. Okay. So if I search Kafka, then okay, so cool. This is a good problem. And if we go look at the network tab. All right, and then it's kind of hard to see on a small screen. Maybe that's better. We look at network tab. All right, let's try that again. Search for Kafka, and we get no result. This is going to localhost 3000. Search %22. So this looks all goofed up. All right, so that probably means some environment variables are not correct, or things aren't defaulted correctly, or both. Did you hear that dog sneeze? It scared me. All right, so request URL. And honestly, even if this did work, then we still would have gotten an error because we haven't created the index or done anything. So I'm going to go back to the instructions before trying to tackle that and make sure I didn't miss any steps. So let's start over at the top. So, okay, we're running on Docker, running locally. Added this because I had skipped some steps. Oh yeah, I'll keep an eye on Slack. There we go. I don't have an external screen, it's weird. I have a weird setup right now. And I'm typing this to you and talking it. I have one big monitor. So I've got like, the stuff I'm streaming is like one small corner. I mean, it's not a huge monitor, it's kind of normal, it's just widescreen. So it's not a good resolution for streaming. But yeah, I added this stuff, some instructions about the submodule. Ultimately, I want to get rid of this. I'm going to do this in a different way, but probably not today, sadly. Oh, and I haven't run those pre-commit hooks yet. So at this point, you can browse to localhost 3000, did that, and everything should be working. False. So we need to basically add some more instructions here. Yeah, the delay is weird. I don't see what you type. It might even be like 30, 45 seconds or so. So I guess the delay is the buffer between my computer and the internet. So that makes it awkward for talking. That's why I want to get the code sharing, like pair programming going, and then it'll be just real time. So 2 things to check on. So index setup. and this is just going to be temporary. So I'll do this so I won't forget it, right? And what we need to do is figure out why the URL was wrong. Make sure it is defaulted or documented correctly, but say defaulted. And number 2 was add instructions for loading data, because this used to work out of the box with Azure Search because we just had everyone using the public one, but now that we're running Elasticsearch locally, it's just a little bit different. Yeah, I am. I'm going to be doing some coding in Go later today. How'd you like Go? Just for loading data. Yeah, so that's good. Instructions or make it happen automatically. All right, and then if we get that stuff worked out, I want to check on whether or not the data ingestion is working. Something Dave, super good Dave, has mentioned. What's up, Dave? Hey, Slade, what's up? This is, I'm using JetBrains Mono, which is awesome. I'm a big fan of it, and I'm a big fan of ligatures, so things like this get transformed to a character, which lets me know that it's like, you know, not a typo. It's pretty cool. It's like Fira code, which is also free, but man, I gotta show you this. Sorry, digression. JetBrains Mono for a font has the coolest website. So like if we come down, that's a ridiculous message. Yes, I agree. So if you come down here, it's got samples, which is, you know, kind of cool, whatever. Nothing fancy there. But check out these animations. Like, who would have ever thought that a font would have such a cool website? Let's move in. But this stuff just is just awesome. And it's not like there's anything amazing to it, just that they did a really good job with it. And the animations, I mean, that stuff is just super slick. So here's my second favorite font. And actually, this is probably the order of fonts I prefer. Even this is cool. All right. So anyway, it's a free font, and yeah, it's got those awesome ligatures. So, all right, what we talk about? Okay, so we're trying to figure out how to fix that URL, and also how to document populating that index, or else how to automate it, which is even mo better. Okay. So I kind of forget where those settings are. So I'm just going to go look for the code that does the actual searching. I think it's here. Search model. There's the response. Where does the response come from? Who calls this? Luckily, this is small enough of a project that it's much easier to kind of wrap your head around everything. So that's where it's doing the basic authentication. There's our URL. So where does it come from? config.cores proxy plus config.searchsettings.base URL. And it looks like that is probably empty. So I'm going to go over to config and see where search settings.base URL comes from. Okay, what it does is it goes to either a what you call it, environment variable. Is that true? Yes, either environment variable, or it's going to default to this podcast underscore search blah blah blah. So if we look back over here on our URL, that's the right default. But the problem is it got appended to our URL, and we've got like a weird %22. Which, what character is that? What is character 22? So if we look back here, cores proxy plus. So I'm guessing maybe cores proxy is equal to a space. Could that be it? Let's keep closing these files. There we go. All right, let's try this again. If you double click the file when it's italic, it will make it so it doesn't swap back and forth like that. I hate that. Okay. Config cores proxy equals React app cores proxy. So does that mean that I have this variable already set? I don't remember. I think that it doesn't run locally. I think it's not needed. Okay, so I don't see any spaces. So what was %22 HTML? Taylor Swift. What is 22? A quote? Well, I didn't expect that. So let's take a look at the console here. Man, that's a bunch of junk, huh? I kind of just want to see all the settings, so I think I'm just going to dump out the config here. Whenever we search, I'm just going to drop this whole thing out. Right, and then don't let me forget that. Did I already do it? Okay. So where is my console.log? Well, I expected to see something. See, I don't think 3000 is the proxy. I think 3000 is the NPM. We look at the Docker Compose. 3000. What? Website. Oh, website port is a variable. Where does it come from? I guess I've got environment variables just on my local computer that are messing things up. And it maps all this stuff into the container, and I am running in it. Oh, geez. Oh, Vlad, how'd you let me do this? I'm running in a container right now, so my local code changes aren't reflected. I actually built the site and then published it to the container. So what we got to do is... Geez, no, I'm not. Oh my gosh. So we're going to stop whatever website is the name of it, and we're going to run this locally. Jeez. Dicer. Nope. Was it website? You would not believe how often I do that. I probably have to install first. No, I'm doing everything wrong. You know, earlier, that's funny. You remember? Well, I'm sure you don't remember. So I looked in here. I was like, "That's weird. I don't see node modules." Anyway, yeah, you got it, man. High five. Psh. All right, here we go. All right, what are the odds it's gonna work? Let me get that console up just in case. Candy. Java, sure. Okay. So that's an error. It looks different actually. So now it is going directly to Elasticsearch. So that's good to know. Okay, so it was a problem with the environment variable in Docker. So it wasn't a problem with the code. It was a problem with this stuff. So one of these guys is probably set to a quote or something. So I'm going to have to check on that in a minute. All right, and this is failing because it didn't get a proper response. Whoa, what is that? Oh, that's the new volume. Oh, the new Docker Compose format? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And then I wouldn't have to. Yeah, man, I like that. I'm going to try that in a second here. Because that would be nice to be able to work on it locally. Because why else is anyone checking out the repo, right? They're not working on it. So why not make it as easy as possible? Yep. Otger. Okay, so what was the error here? 404. I thought we had Elastic running. I can't copy? Give me a break. Yeah. Username and password. Yeah, I hear you. Me too. Let's see. Username and password are going to be in this file. Let me look for Elasticsearch. All right, there we go. There's the password. I don't see the username. So I guess it's just Elastic. Hey, there we go. So this is a good error. This is a good error. So is that what we got over here? Yeah, we did. Yeah. So we're really close. So this is appropriate, and this is just because we haven't set up the data. So we're doing good. All right. So everything is looking good on the dev store here. Docker Compose is gonna have a few things, and we want to try that thing you mentioned, Vlad. Oh, there's the username. Okay. So this brings us to the second problem. Let me go ahead and write that third thing in there. Yeah. Oops. That's not where I meant to do that. Put another note here. Do this first. We're Docker Compose getting bad variable end for cores proxy. Oh, and I'll say %22. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and that is actually related to this, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that for now. And bump that down in priority, because we've got that accounted for. Alright, so now we're going to add instructions for running the data. Do I have that anywhere in here already? Yes. Okay. I didn't realize I had these instructions here. So those things I added to the documentation up here weren't necessary. What I should have done is instead of saying, now you're up, at this point you can browse to things should be working, except except for everything. So and the site should be running, but search won't work yet. Skip down to populating the index to load data. Alright, that means I can remove, this is what we just did, I can remove those lines that I added for this stuff, because that's going to be the second part. Alright, so we skip down to here, populating the index. So I ran these two commands already. Start up a new thing here, search indexer, and there's no Docker file for this yet. So that's something I should do soon too. Let me put that on the to-do. It really doesn't take long, I just haven't done it. No Docker file for search indexer. And what's awesome about that is then we could just have it all run in the Docker Compose, so it's a one-liner. Okay, could not write via lines. I don't know what that is. Probably fine. Warnings don't care. They don't count, right? I think these are wrong too. All right, one thing at a time. So, all right, did the .NET build, and now I'm gonna run this. That looks good. All right, look at that. It's going out and it's fetching some podcasts. We do see some errors in there for some of those podcasts have gone away now. Sometimes they have invalid characters in their feed. Every time I've ever run down one of those errors, it's always been legit. Like maybe their site's down or something. And this runs surprisingly fast. I could say something down here. That's it. Now you're ready to use the site locally, and everything should be functional. And we should have 7,000 documents locally. So if I come over here, and there we go, I've got search results. Did it play?
Hosting provided by Host Tornado.
I love their song. It's got a big bass kick that comes in. Doof, doof, doof. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so we just fixed up the README. If we can get the Docker Compose file working, then I'll go ahead and check this in, and that will be good. So I'm just going to stop everything. So we know we've got the local story working. Compose down. And we'll do it from scratch. Invalid port. Well, that's interesting. Because service dot website ports is invalid. Oh man, look at that. When I saved the file, it changed all my quotes. I guess that was weird. Okay, so I guess that was a Visual Studio thing, maybe a plugin thing. I do have a bunch of plugins installed now, but it really looked like that particular error was because I had actually pasted the word Docker up there. So let's try that again. Hey Gavin, what's up? I don't have a set plan. Is there a time that you would like me to stream tomorrow? Or sorry, not Gavin, Nico. Nico. So I don't know what time zone you're in, but I'm in like basically New York time zone. Yeah, I don't think I need the quotes either. But I prefer to do mornings my time, uh, which is Greenwich Mean Time, whatever UNC UTC time. That's like I don't know, afternoon. Yeah, did you see that, lad? So I find the quote. If I replace this with single quotes, it adds it. It changes to double quotes. If I get rid of it, then it seems fine with it. Yeah, so no quotes needed. It looks nicer too. Should I just delete all the quotes? Try it. Yep, it is noon for me right now. I always type that down, type that wrong. Okay, it doesn't like something. The version? Does the version have to be in quotes? Okay, I give up. I don't know. I'm not sure which quotes are required, which aren't. So I'm gonna leave it up to circumstance. Yeah, Windows, because Windows. Enough said. Man, what am I doing? Oh no, I broke it. What do you mean it's invalid? Give me a line number. Services.website.port. I am in Florida, which is not too far from Georgia. I think I'm like 2.5 hours from the border to Georgia. Actually, Vlad, I've yet to really announce it. I've been kind of doing the stealth mode. I would like to start setting a schedule. It's definitely easier for me to do it before my wife wakes up. So early mornings are easiest for me. That's like the worst time to stream in the US. All right, let's back this stuff up even further. Line 18. Does it need quotes around it? Yeah, how's this even working? I'm not even in the right directory. What the heck? Oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh. I need more coffee, I guess. I guess there's a Docker Compose file in that directory. Yeah, hop on in. They're having a happy hour today, Nico. I'm gonna put a link in the chat there, and we're gonna have a couple drinks online. We're gonna start up like a virtual meeting, see what happens. What could go wrong, right? I'll be pasting that link in Slack. In 1 hour, actually. Yeah, focus, right? Good. I need to get this done before then. So once the drinks start flowing, all right. So yeah, so I don't know what it was doing. There's no Docker Compose file in this directory, so another coding mystery. All right, it doesn't matter. I didn't see a compose file. I see a Docker file, but not a compose. Will Docker Compose try to run a Docker file? don't know. All right, so I'm back to scratch, which means I need to, I should be able to go here. Should see the site is still running, but I have no data. Okay, and if I look over here, then this is wrong again, which we expected. So the question is then, if I have any of those environment variables set. And I forget how to see that in Windows. Node 8, yeah, that's pretty ancient. Is it really Node 8? Yeah, wow. We should probably up that, like, like what are they on, like 13 now or 12? What was I doing? Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. It doesn't make sense for Docker Compose to run that. I don't know why I gave that particular error message. It made it sound like it was working, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Okay, so I got no data, but I got to check on the environment variable. So I was going to look up like Windows print environment variables. Print env. Okay. Let's just see PowerShell. Oh my gosh. You guys go dark mode on Stack Overflow? I'm holding out. I haven't looked yet. All right. So let's see if we have any set with React. P. Nope. This is in alphabetic order. Do you guys see my password? Yeah, so no environment variable set. So that means, oh my gosh, Vlad, that was it, wasn't it? It was the freaking quotes. Is that why you were saying that? Why does it have a comma here? That's weird. Let me just try stopping it and starting up again. It should be in Docker, yep. And I don't have them set, so it should just be passing blanks. But somehow it's getting a %22, which is a single, or it's a double quote. All right, so we're back up here. So this is going to be it. Let's see if that fixed it. Still got an error. That's okay. No, it's still wrong. What the heck? And oh yeah, here too. So it's got double quotes around this value. Yeah, so let's look at that .env. There it is. Vlad. Genius. You're a genius. I kept thinking it was this variable that was wrong. All right. Yep, you called it, man. All right. I think this is going to do it. All right, so if I search for Java, still get an error. That could be okay because that is correct. Yeah. Woo! Yep. And I had the weird commas in there too in the Docker compose file that shouldn't have worked. So that's awesome. So that means that if we keep following the instructions here, I should be able to run this stuff again. What? Oh, I didn't change the directory. All right, let's try this again. This should load data. And I believe it, man. Windows is funky. I just got a new Windows computer at work, and now I'm finding myself needing to do a lot of stuff that requires brew. So either OS X or I guess there's a Ubuntu brew or a Linux brew. Everyone's using, so like everyone that I'm working with is like using Macs or Ubuntu, and I'm like the one Windows person. And I would much prefer to use the same thing that they're all using, but I also have to do some Windows work too. So, and I hate working VMs. Do you actually like it? Was it Next? Or is it Nest? I don't know if you're being satirical or not. Sarcastic. Let me just refresh here. All right, so now if you search for Java, so we did not get an appropriate response here. What does that mean? Oh, okay. This is okay. This is okay. The deal is that it's referring to localhost, but it's no, it's not inside the container. I'm guessing Elastic isn't up right now. Did it crash? It is Nest.js. It's an awesome website. The backend framework? Yeah. All right, looks good. You're gonna put the whole file in Mongo? So make sure people don't upload gigabyte photos. Oh, this looks really nice though. Nest.js, I'll have to keep an eye on it. Oh, really? I didn't really look at the syntax. Oh yeah, it's TypeScript too. Wow, okay. So how do you like working in TypeScript? Kibana's running. Elasticsearch is running. 9200. Something spelled wrong? HTTPS. Should be HTTP. Yeah. Oh, awesome. What do you like about it? It's like prevent mistakes, maybe? So we look over here. And what was the error? Oh yeah, so it's going to HTTPS localhost, and I think it should have just been HTTP localhost. So how did that happen? Sure enough, look at that, HTTPS localhost 9200. I think that would have come from here unless this was set. I don't see this being set anywhere. I mean, do I have 9200 coming from anywhere else in this file? Docker compose. That looks fine. Elastic host. I mean, what the heck? Where did HTTPS come from? HTTPS local host. The .env file. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know what I did here. I don't know how I did this. Okay, nice. All right. I've heard really good things about it. I don't think I've heard anyone complain about TypeScript. I've just been lazy about learning it. Well, it looks like Angular might be in my near future, so I guess I'll be learning. All right. So let's try this down. I'm going to drop those logical volumes. We're going to try doing this from scratch. Look, I did the same dang thing again. That's a weird, that one doesn't have a Docker file in it either, a Docker Compose file, and it gave the same weird error. All right. So up, -v. Okay. So that's not the full story. We still need to import the data. So go back to the README. That was basically the first half. And then the second half is running this. Which means I need to CD back to the directory that I just got out of. All right, that all looks good. I was just thinking, you know, I didn't make any actual code changes, did I? Been streaming for, I don't know, 1 hour now, fixing problems, but not actually changing any code. That's like the story of my life lately too at work. Like doing lots of work, but not actually lines of code. All right, so this is running in Docker. We come in here, search for PWA. No! Unauthorized. Okay. So if we come back to this env file, which I've grown to be very suspicious of. Let's see, we do have a username, we do have a password. Let's search API key and secret. Those are the right names, right? Yep, that's true. And secret too. So like if I go type this in, oh my gosh. So that worked for me, but it didn't work inside the container. If I try to look at the headers, I'm looking for the authentication, see basic. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Why do I even have this stupid file? I think the username and password is required. Yeah, I mean, this stuff really, like, used to be that I ran the deployment based off of the Docker Compose file, so I was using it for production. And I think it still might be. I need to look at that. But I think that's just not the way. You should have like a separate prod file or something. So it's just kind of silly to have this split. I don't want to change it just now because I want to make sure I wrap things up for happy hour. I've got to make my drink. Yeah, definitely. So if we look back at this search model, Where does it add the auth? B2A, API key, colon, blah. Headers append, basic, and then we should see, that's not authenticate. That's the response header. I'm looking at the wrong headers. General. I want to see the headers. Request headers. There we go. Authorization. Basic. So let's take a look at a x64 decoder. So, I mean, that looks good. So why would this give a 401? Unable to authenticate. User Elasticsearch per request. All right, I'm going to try a new incognito window. And just make sure I copy everything so I don't make any assumptions. All right. Now I should ask the username and password, which I'm going to get from here. Look at that. Didn't work. Yeah, so that so that's a good question. So is it that username and password? Let's go back here. Elastic password is QIT rock, so that's the same. Oh my gosh, man. Lad, you saved the day again. The username should be Elastic. I don't know when I broke this stuff. You know, I think I was the only one who did anything with Elastic, so obviously I broke all of this stuff. I smashed it to pieces. We're almost back to good shape. How many times was I going to make that mistake? This is it, though. This is going to work. Hey, Vlad, what do your weekdays look like? Can you hop on a screen share where I'm working and help me through some stuff? All right. So, go back to search indexer. We're going to run this stuff again. Okay, now let's just close it down. I'm not even going to open up the tools because I know it's going to work. It's straight up Docker. Hey, no results. That's weird, but we are getting stuff. Oh, it's still running. That's why. Yep. Yeah, definitely I could use the help. So it hasn't, the way it works is it gets all the files and then pushes it at the end. So that's why we don't have any data yet. So now if we come in here and search for Java, high five, double high five. Oh, up high, down low, too slow. All right, cool. So that looks really good. So I'm going to get this checked in. I'm going to get a pull request out. And I'm going to go make myself a drink. And I don't really drink alcohol too much, so it's going to be like, I don't know, sugar-free Kool-Aid. Let's see, get status. Head detached. Oh, geez. What did I do? Let's see, call it Docker cleanup. Local cleanup. That's okay. Yeah, just pop in. You can be like the angel on my shoulder, helping guide me through my mistakes. What's up, Desmond? All right, here we go. Yeah. Oh, geez. You know, I'm bad about. Oh no, now I can't see my diffs. I'm afraid to reset because I don't want to lose anything. Wait, what? Oh, geez, I'm in the wrong project again, which is why it was the attached head. Okay, all right. See, this is why I hate the multi-repo thing. It just gets really weird and confusing. I've made the same mistake 7 times. So to say that again, the reason why I don't like multiple repos is because I am ineffective. All right. Docker cleanup. No, local cleanup. Local dev cleanup, sure. All right, now let's look at the diff. So all we did today is fix up this terrible .env file that I obviously never had working, and I don't know how that ever happened. Fixed up the docs, so we got a little bit more information. Oh, geez, including we did this. Oh crap! I didn't get to. Yeah, let's see if there's a to-do section here. Okay. Hey, look at that. Oh, there's a to-do for this. I don't feel so bad now. Yeah, I hear you. Docker files are now all working. Yes. Updates that I did that too. Get production updates through away. Not so good. Cypress haven't looked at. Also, make local dev easier by we'll call that the npm run trick that you mentioned, Vlad. Npm run, so you can edit the files in Docker, and also let's Dockerize the search indexer, and then at that point we're able to change the getting started directions to just be docker compose up -d. All right, so that's awesome. So no real code change today, but did make things quite a bit easier for local development. Anyone else coming onto the project or anyone coming back to it, because now it's easier to just get stood up there. And geez, almost checked into console.log. Look at that. Config. Apparently, I've done this in a few spots. This is the only one from today, though. All right, let's get that out of there. All right. Let's see, I'm fixing up local development. Yay. Oh no, it's the Husky. Passed the Husky first time. What's up? It's just because I didn't change any code. Normally that Husky gets its teeth on me. All right, now we'll go over to GitHub. It's all coming together. And we'll do, oh my gosh, there's 6 pull requests open? Oh man, I forgot. Oh, poor Arlene, I'm so sorry. I bet the last comment here is probably me saying, I'll look at it this weekend. Hey, nice. Okay, we got some conflict. So I'll take a look at that later. All right, so new pull request here. So just gonna eyeball this, and what do we do? That's right. Linters are important. Let's see. I remember before we had the linter set up, and you could see all the dirty things that I did. Let's see, made development fixed. Local development and running in Docker Compose for Elastic. Updated the documentation to reflect how things work now. Exclamation point. All right. we go look at those files. Oh man. I already failed the build. Google Cloud build. When did that come in? Did I do that?